What's going on, everybody? It's the Jack here once again with another Weightlifter 101 video for you guys. Yeah, that's right, Professor Weightlifter is back at it again with another Weightlifter 101 video for you guys on this wonderful Wavy Wednesday. First things first, man, my channel has been growing like I've been telling you guys before. I could realize by, just looking at my channel analytics and looking at my subscriber numbers. Last time I checked, we were at 1,850. My goal is 2,000, so we're only 150. My goal as of right now is 2,000, and we're only 150 subscribers away from that. So make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel as well as hitting that notifications bell so you don't miss any of my content. I want to make sure that you guys see everything. I make these videos for you guys to see it. So the best way to see it is to hit the notifications bell and also to be sure that you're subscribed from the jump. This video will be about connections and flow. Let me describe to you guys what connections and flow is, or are technically, when it comes to this thing that we call waves. So the connections is how well your waves, go from one part of your head to the other without any forks or any other forms of disruptions or any crashes of any kind. It basically means that your waves are, not to use the term in the definition, but connected fully. So that kind of goes into your flow. Your flow is how well your pattern, is developed, how well your pattern starts to continue to develop, and how well your waves just kind of look going all the way around your head. You feel me? How just your waves overall connect, and how well they're connected, and how well your crown kind of transitions into your waves, and how your waves just look overall. This video is going to be me telling you guys how I better my connections, how I better my flow, and how I get my flow and my waves as nice as they possibly can be and maximize my wave potential, okay? So with that being said, keep it locked. The tips start now. So when it comes to bettering your connections and bettering your flow, it first starts off with patience. You cannot better your connections or better your flow without patience. You're gonna need to be able to wait the duration of time that's needed for your hair and your waves to better form, to better develop, and to connect, and which will lead to you having better flow. Also, you're gonna need patience because you're gonna have to, not just patience, but you're gonna need a lot of, work ethic too, because you're gonna have to put in that brush work. You're gonna have to put in them brush hours in order to make sure that you're putting in the work needed, putting in the brush work needed in order for you to even maintain, any progress when it comes to anything regarding or revolving around waves. You feel me? You're not gonna be able to better your waves. You're not going to be able to better your connections or your flow without brushing your hair. So you guys have to have patience and work ethic. Those are two things that you're definitely going to need, when it comes to bettering your flow. Secondly, you guys are going to want to learn your hair growth pattern. Your hair growth pattern is basically the way your hair forms and the way your hair grows as it grows. You feel me? Like the direction your hair grows as it grows. That's like a hair growth pattern. And once you guys can figure out the direction that your hair grows in, if you start brushing in that direction, the flow of your waves are going to be even better because of the fact that you're you're brushing your hair in the way that it already goes, so you don't have to train your hair to go in any specific direction because of the fact that you're going in this natural direction. You feel me? So that's something that's going to help you guys as well as far as bettering your flow. Something that you guys are going to want to do to better your connections and better your flow of your waves is start mirror brushing. Mirror brushing is basically what I was doing in the beginning of the video. You get yourself a hand mirror. Don't make fun of mine. I accidentally broke it last night, but I broke the handle off. I gotta get a new one. So don't be, talking junk about, I hear you. Oh, he got a broken mirror. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get a new one. But yeah, you're gonna want to get yourself a hand mirror and basically brush your hair like so. When you're mirror brushing, you're basically gonna have the mirror above you, so you could and at an angle, so you could see behind you while you're brushing, so you can see your crown. You're basically gonna brush your hair while looking at the mirror to make sure you're hitting your angles as accurately as possible. Which brings up the next point. When it comes to bettering your connections and bettering your flow, that all happens from being accurate and being precise with your brush angles and strokes. If you're brushing out willy-nilly, you're not paying attention to your angles, and you're not, being accurate, your waves are gonna crash. You're gonna have a lot more forks than you would have had if you just paid more attention to just your overall brush angles and your brush strokes. You feel me? So make sure you guys are mirror brushing, because that's gonna help you be as accurate as possible. So the next thing that you guys are gonna want to do, besides accurately and precisely brushing your hair, to better the flow. All right. So the next thing that you guys are gonna want to do, as you're mirror brushing, as you're putting in that brush work, as you're, keeping your patience and still putting in that work needed, as you're staying precise and staying as accurate as possible with your brush strokes, you're gonna want to start woofing. Now woofing, for those of you guys who don't know, just in case if you guys are beginner wavers who are watching, woofing is basically when you grow your hair out longer than your natural cutting cycle. So if you get your hair cut every 2 weeks, once you hit that 3rd week, you're at a 1 week woof. You're growing your hair out longer than, you normally would. That's all woofing is. Very simple. If you guys want me to kind of touch on woofing again, but get it and really get in tune and have a full video based on woofing, let me know. I can make that for you. But to continue on what I was saying about woofing, when you woof, you're giving your hair, you're giving your waves time to develop, and you're giving them time to get better as you continue to brush your hair at longer lengths, which helps create more waves, create depth in your waves, which overall is going to better your flow. So make sure you guys are woofing, as well. Don't get your hair cut so frequently. Don't cut your hair every week, because even if you cut your hair every week, you're really not going to see any wave progress as a whole, because you're not letting your hair get the time needed for that progress to come. You feel me? So make sure you guys are woofing, and while you're woofing, make sure you're maintaining your woof, because if you're not maintaining your woof, and when you cut your woof off, you're not going to have the progress that you thought that you was going to have. Your flow is not going to be there. Your connections might worsen, honestly. You feel me? Because if you're not brushing your hair properly and not putting in that brush work while you're woofing, when you cut your hair, during your woof, you wasn't really getting down to the root and giving your hair the pull needed to, 1, keep the waves going, but 2, create new waves and to better the waves that are there. So when you cut your hair, your waves are gonna actually regress instead of progress. You feel me? Other tips for you guys when it comes to bettering your connections and bettering your flow is to start working on your forks. A fork, let me give you guys an example of a fork. A fork is basically, alright, let me make sure I'm in the shot when I show you guys. I think I am. This right here. It's basically when 2 waves become 1, or 1 wave break us off into 2, and it's similar to a fork and a. So what you're gonna want to do is start working on your forks. I kind of have a method that I use when it comes to forks. If you guys want me to come out with my fork control method, let me know. I'll definitely do that. But you guys are gonna want to start working on your forks. You feel me? That's something that's definitely going to help better your flow and your connections, because once you get rid of a fork, that area of your waves are going to connect better, and therefore gives it a better flow. You feel me? So make sure you guys are working on them forks. If you need help trying to figure out you know, which direction, you know, you need to go in when it comes to breaking your fork or whatever, you know, you guys can reach out to me and I'll give you guys my, you know, opinion on it. But everybody's hair is kind of different and everybody's angles is different. So that's something that you're going to want to work on yourself, honestly. But now, my last tip for you guys when it comes to bettering your flow and bettering your connections is brushing from your crown and follow through brushing, which means you're going to start at the crown and come all the way through your head down and follow all the way through to your hairline. And you're going to do that and hitting every angle around your head until your entire head is covered. You know, you're definitely going to want to do this because that's going to help, you know, just bring everything together. You feel me? When you're just brushing your top and brushing your sides and you know, as you know, you're kind of raised on brushing that way, you know, to make sure you're hitting each side, which is great. But make sure you guys are hitting, you know, from your crown all the way through as well, because that's just going to tie everything together. That's going to make everything smoother. It's going to, you know, make all your waves really start coming into unison, because a lot of times when you're brushing your hair, if you just brush your top, brush your sides, you know, brush your back, brush your crown, you're gonna have, you know, areas that's gonna, you know, it's just not gonna flow 100% correctly how it should if you aren't brushing from your crown and coming all the way through to your lineup. You feel me? Speaking of lineup, I did kind of messed up right here. I kind of cut myself a little bit. So if any self-cut barbers or any barbers watching me could help me out with this little thing right here, what can I do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? You feel me? Wasn't my clippers too sharp, or did I not spray enough coolant on them? I don't know. But let me know what I can do to prevent. So guys, that's basically gonna wrap up this video. I'll give you guys a bunch of tips on how to better your flow and better your connections, from, you know, working on those forks to brushing from your crown to making sure you stay patient and put in the work to make sure you're staying precise with your brush angles and staying consistent with those brush angles as well. Trying to brush as accurately as possible. You know, and the best way to do that is to mirror brush and, you know, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys are taking all those into consideration when it comes to bettering your, you know, bettering your connections and bettering the flow of your waves. Because once your connections start coming in and they're coming in cleaner and your flow is just better, that's what really puts you into like that status of becoming elite, or, you know, being elite. Is by, you know, how well your flow is and how well your waves connect. And how well your waves connect from your crown as well. So that's why brushing, you know, also brushing from your crown is so important, because all that comes together. You know, we're not waving just to be, you know, people with waves. We're trying to have the best waves possible. We're trying to maximize our wave potential. Excuse me. You know, so we have to go all the way with it. We got to make sure we're taking all the necessary steps that we got to take, you know, to maintain our waves, to make sure our waves are looking good and making sure our flow is developing and our connections are getting better and all that good stuff. You feel me? It's real. So with all that being said, I'm actually going to sign off. This video is going to be a lot quicker than my other videos because I was just listing some tips and not really showing you guys anything. So I didn't feel like I really had to really go in and explain so much like I usually do. However, this video was full of great tips and full of great information. So if you guys need, you know, to reiterate this, just take that little, so look at that red line that goes down the bottom of this video, hit that little circular cursor and just bring it right back to the beginning and rewatch this if you need to. If you guys need any specific help, make sure you either reach out to me via Instagram or Facebook if you have me on either one of those, or just comment below and I'll be sure to reach out to you. And, you know, make sure, you know that I answer any and all questions needed. If you guys need any Waveture essentials, you know, any brushes, do-rags, or anything like that before, you know, the giveaway happens and things of that nature, be sure to reach out to me. I got you. I'll make sure that, you know, you could purchase your brushes and your do-rags and you'll have everything that you need. I'll ship it out to you and all that good stuff. So with all that being said, keep that brush in motion if you want the ocean. Pick a goal and go get it and keep that Waveture going, all right? I'm out of here. Peace.